Hey guys, welcome to this week's video. If you're new to my channel, I'm Sabrina. I do makeup and beauty and skincare content on my channel. So in this video, I want to share with you guys my foundation base routine and how I really cover my acne but still keep it super natural and fresh faced. Honestly, the best way to have a really good foundation base is to have a really good canvas. How you prep your skin for makeup's really going to change it. And yes, you can use all these blurring primers, pore filling primers, and your skin will look smooth, but I think it really comes down to having a really hydrated base. Give that more like healthy glow appearance. So I already prepped my skin beforehand. I like my skincare to really sit in my skin and just settle down a little bit, my inflammation to go down a bit before I go in with other products. So I just go in with a really nice moisturizer. It's not too heavy, but it'll still give me lots of moisture. In the winter, my skin's just a bit drier, so I need something like this. So I go for the Embryolisse Moisturizer. It's a great makeup base. I'm trying to get better at applying sunscreen more often. I do not do it enough. I've been using the Supergoop Zinescreen sunscreen, which has more of like this oily texture to it, so I definitely like to apply this one before I do my makeup and let it sit in a little bit, or else I do find it interferes a little bit with it. On days where I feel like I need the extra moisture or just want a little bit more glow to my makeup look, yes, I'll add more of a glowy primer, but for me lately, since I've been using the Embryolisse Moisturizer, that's kind of my primer. So I'm going to go in with the Bite Beauty Changemaker foundation. It has a super lightweight whip texture, and it gives a beautiful, very natural looking finish to the skin. I would say it's more of a medium coverage foundation. That's what I really enjoy about it. I don't like anything really heavy or full coverage on my skin. This will just kind of blur out any redness, give me a little bit more coverage to help blur my acne. So my personal favorite way that I found to apply this is I just squeeze it out on my fingertips, literally, like probably that's enough for my full face. And then I just simply go ahead with my other finger and then just spread this all over. Instead of doing little spots and then spraying it, I like to kind of like spread it everywhere first. So it makes it very even feeling on the skin and looking on the skin, so the coverage is kind of being spread evenly. Okay, now I look really crazy. So I'm gonna go in with a sponge. This is the Real Technique sponge. This is my favorite sponge. I do actually like it more than the Beauty Blender sponge, and I just make sure it's nice and damp. If it's getting a little bit dry and I'm too lazy to go to the tap, I'll go in with the Aven thermal water and just mist it on top. But it has to be damp. It will give more of an easy application. And then I just simply bounce it on my face and just blend it in. And by spreading my foundation first, I find it just kind of thins it out a little bit too, so it's not so heavy in areas. It makes it really quick to blend because it's kind of like half blended almost for you already. And then I find the sponge doesn't absorb as much product. I do kind of just spread it down my neck though instead of press. So now you can just see I have this beautiful glow on my foundation, partly from my skin prep but also from the product I'm using a really damp sponge. Do you like to bounce it on top as well when there's no product on it? It's just gonna pick up any unwanted product from the skin. My favorite concealer, I do dibble and dabble into other products sometimes, but this is like my ride or die concealer to cover my acne specifically. This is the Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer. It's such a good high coverage concealer with a matte finish, so it's not gonna like accentuate and give glow to your acne because you do not want that, but then it doesn't accentuate the dryness that sometimes acne can have around it. I have this little MAC brush which you cannot get because it's from actually an eyeshadow palette from a holiday collection. Basically what it has is a very flat tip and a little bit more of a dense bristle. Then on this side it's slightly more fluffy but still quite dense. So I'm going to pick up the tighter bristle side, the smaller side. Then I'm just going to go ahead and start pinpointing my concealer and just put that on any spots I see. I think that's fairly good. Pretty spotty all over my face now. My little trick that I like to do for concealer that's a must for getting more coverage and longevity for covering acne is I let it sit a bit before I just go in and blend it in right away. I find when you blend it in right away, it's just gonna move around and you're not gonna get that real potential of coverage. You wanna let it sit a little bit and almost dry down just a tad. It's gonna grab onto the skin, grab onto the spot a little bit better, and just hold and give you a little bit more coverage. I'm going to go in and do my under eyes while I'm waiting. I'm going to go in with the MAC Prep and Prime Highlighter in Bright Forecast. Do the little TikTok technique, inner corner, and then just bring it up. And that's honestly where I'm the darkest, a little bit here, but I just blend it out towards that. And then once again with the same sponge I used with my foundation, I'm just gonna pat that under my eyes. And the warm peachy undertone in this product's really gonna counteract any blue or purple like pigmentation or veins that show through. Then I'm going to go back in with my concealer brush and do the other side that's slightly more fluffy and pat that in and blend them out. And we're not buffing or moving it around, overly blending. We're just patting it in. We just want that product to stay where it is and just stamp it in place and just diffuse the edges of it. You can see they peek through just a little bit. It's maybe a little bit more noticeable now, but once I go in with like my eye makeup, my brows, my lips, it's gonna get distracted and your focus is gonna be pulled to my features versus my face. So this product here actually inspired me to do this whole video because once I started using this, I'm like, there, I found my base routine that I love. So this is the Kosas Cloud Set Powder. I have it in the shade Breezy. This powder is so good. If you just want a powder to set your makeup in place, make sure things don't crease or move around, and just blur your skin, this is the one for you. So I'm just gonna go in with my powder. I have a small little brush here. This is the Real Technique setting brush. Pat out any creases and then set that in place. You can see it gets rid of the unnecessary shine from the cream products, but it doesn't mattify it. It just keeps it looking like a natural skin finish. And I think it does an excellent job of just smoothing out my under eyes. On all the parts that I pinpoint conceal, I'm just gonna really lock them in place with the powder. So that is my foundation base done. I am also gonna go in with my bronzer, blush, and highlight just to show you guys the finished base look. My skin looks so perfected, smoothed out, but it looks like skin and there's a beautiful, just healthy glow to it. Alright, so I'm gonna finish off my look. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of bronzer. I'm gonna go in with the Ilia Drawn In Nightlight Bronzing Powder. I've been obsessed with this one lately. If you're putting any type of concealer or foundation on your face, you have to go in with bronzer because when you're blanking out your features, you need to bring the natural contours and shadows back in and bring in a little bit more warmth because our skin naturally is not all one tones. And this bronzer is just such a beautiful tone. And I always love to use more of a stamping motion. It's not going to pick up any product underneath. We don't want to move around my concealer that I just did. Always like to do the jawline to bring that natural color and shadow back in. And I just take a little bit of bronzer more on my cheeks as well. I just love that look. I go in with more of a narrow brush always. This is the MAC 188S. My bronzer, just a little bit. And I just go ahead and warm up my nose a little bit. I'm gonna go in with the Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek Stick in Werk. Love this color. So I just take my Real Techniques Multitask Cheek Brush with Duo Fiber. It just diffuses it a bit more. So I'm just gonna pop that on my cheek there and then just bring it up to my temples. And by dispersing it on my brush like this, most of the work of blending is done once again, so just a little bit of patting in. I always like to take a little bit of blush on my forehead. I just like to put it somewhere else on my face other than just my cheeks. Make it look like more of a natural flush on the lids as well. Maybe a little bit on the nose. Okay, so then I'm gonna finish off with just a little bit of highlight. I've been really enjoying the Merit Beauty Highlighting Balm in Cava. It's just basically a clear balm that gives this beautiful, like, natural dew to the face. So I just like to pat it in a little bit just on the outer portion of my face. I'm not bringing it to the front or anything. And that just gives a nice subtle dew to the face. And then what I love to do at the very end is go in back with my sponge and just meld everything together, soften it up a bit. Alright, so this is my finished base with a little bit more makeup on. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, maybe learned something new. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up. That'd be awesome. Also, if you could support my channel, subscribe down below so you can stay tuned for my videos that I upload every single week. Alright, so I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye! I still get butterflies every time we speak.